What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show. We discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, thanks for hitting the like button for us down below. It really helps out our YouTube channel. As we're in the holiday weekend here, happy 4th of July weekend. Let me know if you're doing anything special here this weekend. You can see here the major gas retailer, gas station Sheetz, has lowered gas prices to $3.99 a gallon. It's funny to think that that's cheap. My wife laughing in the background, through July 4th weekend to help drivers save money. But note here that this is a little bit misleading because it's on a special blend of gas, which I'll show you here. I actually didn't know this at first either. And you can see this here. Sheetz lowered gas prices aren't for every car. Yeah, and this is interesting because there's more and more types of fuel coming on the market as we go forward here in our economy. You've heard of E85. Now there's E88 as well. And you might want to be careful when you go to fill up at any gas station in your state because buying gas is actually starting to become a little bit complicated. Have you ever heard of E88? I you would think you got 87 and then there's like 88 and 89 and then like 93 and some stations have 92 and then there's E85 E88 and it's just like, and then there's diesel. You make sure you don't put diesel in your gas car, unless you have a diesel, right? But it's so a lot of people are like, 3.99 gallon gas, let me go get it. But you might not be able to, or maybe you shouldn't. Check this out. Yeah, you could see here for the 4th of July, Sheetz is dropping prices in multiple states. I'll show you what states here. I'm not sure if they're across the whole country or just in these states. I think they're just in multiple states. I'll list them here. I'll show it to you here. On 2 types of gas to help drivers save money at the pump. Effectively immediately, the convenience store chain is charging $3.99 a gallon for unleaded 88. Unleaded 88. And $3.49 a gallon for E85, according to a company news release. Is a limited time offer available through July 4th. But unleaded 88 can be used in vehicles for model years 2001 or newer, as well as light-duty trucks, SUV, and flex fuel vehicles, the company said in their release. So note that unleaded 88 can be used in vehicles for model years 2001 or newer, as well as light-duty trucks, SUVs, or flex fuel vehicles. So if you have a car that's 2000 or older, you apparently do not want to put that in your car. E85 is designed specifically for flex fuel vehicles, and drivers should check their owner's manuals to see if they can even use it. The Sheetz that's offering, well, this Sheetz that here specifically here, that says unleaded 88 $3.99, says that 88 octane gas has 15% ethanol. A sign in the pump said it should be compatible with all cars that can use that octane or below, built after 2001. And that the head of petroleum at Gas Buddy recommends that drivers check their owner's manuals before filling up with the gasoline. This comes as the average gas is about $4.85 right now, down from the high of $5.01. But the thing is that unleaded 88 and E15 or E85 are different types of gas. And you actually could get worse gas mileage on them, or you probably will. For example, nearly all of the gasoline in the US now contains about 10% ethanol made from corn, according to the Energy Information Administration. Sheet's sale, though, isn't on regular gasoline, and you also need to note this when you go to fill up at any other station. If you see E88 and you're like, "Oh, this is cheap," you better be aware of what you're buying. It's offered on fuel that contains more ethanol, which is made from corn, which is made from more corn and less gas. So, are these bargain fuels safe to use? Unleaded 88 is a fuel blend that contains 15% ethanol. It has an octane rate of 88, which is why it's called unleaded 88. E85, okay, so again, E88 has 15% ethanol, so 5% more corn. Or, I mean, you get it, right? You understand. The E85 is a blend that contains 51 to 83% ethanol. So you can see much less actual gasoline, but it apparently can still run, right? Interesting. And E85 can only be used in cars that are flex fuel vehicles. And you have to check your manual if you don't know about that. Does gasoline with higher levels of ethanol reduce gas mileage? And the answer is yes. Results do vary, but in general, a small reduction in mileage might be seen depending on the operation and design of the vehicle. Basically, the answer is yes. One way to find out is to track your mileage on a tank of regular and then try the same on a tank of higher ethanol blend. So, gas might be cheaper, but you're also going to get lower gas mileage. So, the question is it worth it? Well, you'd have to actually do the math. Or maybe you could do some googling and see if it's worth it as well. Yeah, so as we go forward, electric vehicles becoming more and more popular, and over the course of the next 5, 10, 15 years, car manufacturers are just, even without the Biden administration or anything like that, car manufacturers are just building more and more, and even all around the world, in Europe, China, Asia, everywhere, car manufacturers are just making more and more electric vehicles. So if you're tired of paying $5 a gallon gas, you could buy an electric vehicle. In fact, there's a lot of there's even used electric vehicles now, or used hybrid vehicles. You think of like the Toyota Prius. You can buy used Priuses for pretty cheap, actually. So going forward, but the thing is, then you got to pay for electricity. Again, you kind of have to, do the math if you want to. But remember that like gas over in Europe is right now is $7 or $8 a gallon, U.S. gallons and U.S. dollars if you equate it. So they're tired. They're tired of paying gas as well. That's why if you actually go over there, if you ever go to Europe, they don't have large SUVs. And they haven't for a while. It's very rare. They have really small compact cars is the norm there. Yeah, so the huge gas guzzling trucks and SUVs is a largely American thing. That's not a, because gas is much higher over there, and in a lot of parts of the world. Um, I actually seen some comments here, saying people saying, I got a 4-cylinder car and I get really good gas mileage. I filled up my car, 10 gallons. It's not that bad. I get it's still historically worse than it was a year ago. But if you got a big truck, a big SUV, you're gonna get much worse gas mileage. But as we go forward, things are just kind of changing. They're introducing new things, and so you better be careful of what you put in your car, or at least know what you're doing. There's a couple different stimulus. You can see this here: stimulus update, federal gas rebate check worth $100 a month forthcoming here. And this is a possibility with how high gas prices are. And California, as you can see here, millions of Californians to receive, quote, inflation relief with gas tax rebate checks. So they're calling this gas tax rebate check or inflation relief checks. Get to that here in a moment, and that's going to be a significant amount of money here. Um, More than 7 in 10 support a temporary gas tax holiday as well. Another thing here is the federal gas rebate checks worth $100 a month per car is another option here. There is a bill in Congress that, yeah, you could see here President Joe Biden has dug deep into his bag of tricks to, to deal with surging prices of gasoline in the United States, from tapping into emergency oil reserves, where they are releasing 1 million barrels of oil every single day, and calling on Congress to do a federal gas tax holiday for 3 months, to urging oil companies to ramp up production. Now, Biden and other lawmakers are considering sending a federal gas rebate check to Americans. A White House official told Fox Business in June that Biden administration has not ruled out the distribution of gas rebate cards as a way of subsidizing the price of gas for American motorists. The president has made clear that he is willing to explore all options and hear all ideas that would help lower gas prices for the American people, said the official whose name was not disclosed. Other legislators are also considering, so note that was from President Biden. He did not put a number amount on it. I would expect that his number amount would be more. Other legislators are considering rebate checks as the price of gas continues to hover near all-time highs. One proposal is a federal gas stimulus check that would give eligible Americans $100 per month through the end of the year, or for as long as the price of gas exceeds $4 a gallon, which could be a while. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that would be per adult, per car, or how that would work, uh, depending on how they worked it out. CNET reported U.S. Representatives Lauren Underwood, Democrat from Ohio, Mike Thompson, Democrat from California, John Larson, Democrat from Connecticut, proposed the idea here this year with their Gas Rebate Act of 2022. And those with dependents would receive an additional $100 per month as well. Now, you can also see here, California is one of the most recent states here to come to basically a stimulus type check, stimulus type, they're calling it inflation relief, gas tax relief. You can see here when $1,050 California gas tax rebate checks will reach residents here. Yeah, so it's up to $1,050 for California families. I think they said like over 23 to 25 million families, or a million adults. That's a lot of people, a lot of people. Yeah, the California budget plan calls for as much as $1,050 to be deposited into the bank accounts or distributed via debit cards to California taxpayers is in the works. However, California may not see the funds until October, the LA Times reported. The deal was announced on Sunday. It has not yet been voted on in the state Senate Assembly. If it passes, California taxpayers could receive a total of $9.5 billion in state tax refunds. Yeah, it's a lot here. Under the plan, individuals earning up to $75,000 would get $350 per adult. So joint filers would get $700 and $350 per dependent or per kid you have or child, up to a maximum of $1,050. So you can't get more than that. Single filers earning up to $125,000 would get $250 per adult, so $500 per married couple if you earn more than $75,000 and up to $125,000, for a total of $750 is the maximum. If you earn up to $250,000, you can get $200 per person, up to a total of $600. This is just part of a $17 billion inflation relief package. 23 million Californians will benefit from the direct payments of $1,050. It also calls for the suspension of the state sales tax on diesel fuel, additional assistance for residents struggling to pay rent and utility bills. So there's even more stuff here in this as well. Governor Ned Lamont from Connecticut reminds residents that Connecticut's gas tax holiday and fare-free bus service has been extended for several additional months. Yeah, in Connecticut, residents that the governor signed into law that they suspended the state's 25 cents per gallon gas tax was initially set to expire on June 30th, has just been extended for several additional months and will now remain into effect until November 30th. So let's see here, July, August, September, October, and November. That's 5 more months. So good for Connecticut. That's a good job. 5 more months. I mean, a lot of states have suspended it for 1 month, 2 months. This is an additional 5 more months. So they did a good job there. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I will keep you up to date here with everything you need to know about here on a daily basis. I'll be covering as many states as I can here going forward. As new information comes out, I will cover them. It seems like more and more states are issuing state stimulus checks, tax rebate checks, pausing their gas taxes, or in the process of doing so, especially as we get closer and closer to the election. Each state has more than $1 billion of stimulus money and surplus money, and they need to spend it somehow. And I will keep you up to date here with that as well and everything going on here in our country. So make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel if you haven't yet. It's completely free to do so. Just click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos, and then click the bell icon that appears after you subscribe so you get notifications when we go live. You can click here to see a new video about new checks going out here in July. And here is a new video about what Nancy Pelosi just did, which was pretty crazy. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.